All right, hey, it's Greg with Liberty Figs and Apiary. I am in a friend of mine's apiary today. She is overseas, so hello to Renata. Your bees are certainly out here busy today, that's for sure. I'm going to let you take a look at the view that the bees have, and let me tell you what, this is some kind of spot. Pretty nice. So let's take a look and see how they're doing. On top here is a cooling fan, which Renata just got pretty recently, which is pretty cool. Renata, I did get one. I did buy a fan, and I just haven't put it in a box yet. But looking forward to doing that. Alrighty. Oh, so there we go. Gotta get my smoker out of the way. There we go. All right. Definitely no food left in here. I'm having a heck of a time keeping my smoker lit today. All right, let's take a look here, see how they're doing. Oh, they're doing good. All right, so it looks like we got a double deep. So this something tells me that this box is going to be pretty heavy. So let's take a look. Doesn't look like she's got a queen excluder between the two. And she's running 8 frames. A lot of bees in here. A lot of bees in this top box. So let's take a look. No beetles. So that's good. Oops. Oh, first frame is pretty heavy. Outside frame. This up just a little bit. Standing on kind of an angle on a hill here. So we got honey and nectar on this outside frame. I do see a couple hive beetles, so let's go ahead and take care of those. 10 more points for Greg. All right. Yeah, I cannot keep that smoke lit today. All right, this frame is filled with nectar, honey, and some pollen. All right, pretty much the same thing with this side. Looks good. Nice and robust. All right, this frame is a little lighter, and it has got quite a bit of pollen in it and a little bit of nectar. Looked like this comb was originally, or the foundation was a little crooked, but it looks like they're pretty much fixing it. Nicely propolized, that's for sure. All right, here we got have our first signs of brood. All right, got some nice brood in here. Got a lot of pollen, all kinds of different colors. And I do see eggs around the outside. So looking good. This queen seems to be doing a great job. I do see a handful of drones. I assume that these queens are marked, but I don't know. I definitely see some larvae. And some eggs. All right, so this is pretty well, I don't see any eggs over there. I do see some larvae. All right, but it's pretty well laid up. All right, same thing on this side. A lot of pollen, a lot of brood. Right there in the center at the bottom. I suspect that there's a nice cluster right there of brood right there in the middle of both deeps. All right. Yes. All right, there's a full frame of brood. Nice full frame of brood. All right, as many bees are in here, I would definitely say that this is getting ready to have a pretty big expansion. I think that they probably, or not, I think that they could probably use a honey super. This one for sure. Oops, let me just peek one more time. Queen certainly shouldn't be on this frame because it is just packed out with brood. I do see a queen cup there, and it's just an emergency cup, nothing in it. These bees are nice and gentle. Wow, look at all this brood. Renata, this is a ton of brood. This hive is getting ready to explode. Explode. Good looking frame. Nectar, pollen, ton of brood. Let's see what these look like over here. Oh, these frames are stuck. All right. More brood. And even more brood. Couple emergency cups at the bottom. None of them are charged. This frame looks great. I do see some larvae in there as well. All right, this outside frame here has a lot of honey, a lot of nectar, a little bit of pollen, a little bit of bee bread. Same thing on this side, looks terrific. Looks great. This hive's got a lot of propolis. I wonder if these were brand new boxes or if you had gotten these from someone with as much propolis as on here. Pretty remarkable. Alrighty. A lot of bees in that box, and look at the bottom here. My goodness. Let's see what they were stuck to. Take a minute to clean some of this off. All right, let's take a look at this trap. Whew. Wow, you got a lot of propolis. All right, no hive beetles in that one either. All right, still haven't seen the queen. There are a lot of bees in this bottom box. A lot of bees. Hopefully we won't find any swarm cells because I'm not sure what she'd want me to do about it. All right, honey, pollen, nectar. Same. Just an outside food frame. This is packed with pollen and some nectar. This side looks like it's cleaned and polished, ready to be laid in. This frame's ready to be laid in. There's nothing in here. Expect to see brood probably on this frame right here. And there we go. That is a full sheet of brood. Wow, that bee was just born. It's fuzzy. A lot of brood. Oh, a lot of brood on this side too. Goodness. Renata, this hive is unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, looks like emerging brood. Look at all that pollen. I don't know necessarily that they need sugar water. I'm a little bit nervous to put it on there, on this hive anyway, because they're so packed out as it is. I'm afraid that they are going to really fill any space that they don't have with the sugar water. Look at all of this brood. So much brood. I see a lot of milk brood in here. Same here. This side's a little spotty. Maybe not so much. Still haven't spotted the queen. We got 2 more frames. And we'll close it up. I think what I'll do is just put a little bit of that syrup on. I don't think I'll put all of it, or the whole gallon, gallon and a half, whatever's in those jugs. All right, and I do see some room in her for her to lay. All right, so that's good. All right, what do we got here? Nope, just an emergency cup. Nothing in that one either. Actually, those will do. I think those are eggs. Nope. Okay, so there's room. There's room in here for her to lay. But not for long. Not for long. All right, never did see the queen, but plenty evidence that she's in here. All right, looking good. All right, looks good. Oops. There we go. There we go. This hive just sounds good. All right. I think this was right here. And here. There we go. All right, let's go over to hive number 2. Oops, we forgot to put the feeder on there. Oopsie, where was the feeder? All right, Renata, I'll give them half, just because there's not that much room in here. I'll give them half, and then if you want me to come back and give them the rest, I will. But I do think that they got plenty in here. Alrighty. All right, there's hive number 1. Let's take a walk over to hive number 2. All right. I like those entrance reducers. Pretty nifty. Should have just taken that one off. All right, this one's got quite a few ants in it and a little bit of sugar in it. So something tells me that this hive is not going to be quite as robust And maybe what we should do is consider taking a couple frames of brood from that hive and putting them in here. Kind of wish I didn't close it up now, but let's take a look. Oh, plenty of bees. Plenty of bees. No beetles in that trap either. But I only saw those, I think those 2 beetles, so not too bad. Let me move this a little bit in my direction. Pretty light frame. Nothing on this outside, but plenty of places to lay. Plenty of places to lay on that frame. And maybe I should put this on the other side. All right, that one's out of my way. Okay, looks like we got some emerging brood. I don't see anything. This frame has not been backfilled with eggs. I don't see any larvae. I don't see anything, but that emerging larva is all I see. All right, this is a pretty light frame too. I see nectar. I see a little bit of pollen. Nectar and pollen. No brood, no eggs. No queen. All right, this one's a little heavier. All right, this one's capped out with some honey. They're definitely acting right, so they're not acting like they're queenless. So maybe they're just smaller and I haven't gotten to the cluster yet. But this is pretty much just food. I suspect that this would be the one. More emerging brood. All right. A little bit nervous, Renata, because I haven't seen anything young yet. I do see some larvae. I do see some young larvae on this frame. Okay. All right, I do see some eggs now. All right. All right, good Geo. Whew, I was getting nervous. I don't see the queen on here. Kind of the same thing on this side. This would be a good frame for her to be on, I think. Not yet. Oh, that made him mad. Not sure why that made him so mad. Same thing. I see that emerging brood, but no new brood. There's the queen right there. Here, towards the bottom of the frame. All right, I do see a lot of larvae in here. All right, so let's get her back in there. I'd like to see a little bit of brood. Is what I'd like to see. Wow, they keep going after me. Okay, here's a good frame of brood. All right. Both sides. Okay. All right, so this is a good sign, and they're getting ready to pop. All right. No hive beetles in that one either. Guess that's good. All right, wanted to look at this outside frame just because there's so much brood on this side already. And yep, there's brood over here too. Some drone brood here on the outside. All right, we'll shut this one up, give them a little bit of food. This hive's a little upset at me. Okay, all right, we'll get these closed up. I think they're doing okay. I'd keep an eye on the queen. She seems to be doing all right. Just not quite as prolific as that other one, obviously, but it's keeping busy. She's keeping busy. She's doing what she's supposed to do. All right. Yeah, a lot of ants in this one. All right, I think that's going to do it. I'll get this closed up in a second. Renata, thanks for letting me come spend some time with your bees. And they're looking good. That one on the left is just going absolutely gangbusters. It certainly can use a honey super. If you want me to come back and throw a super on it, let me know, because I think it needs it. This one, I'm not saying, I think that this probably could use a honey super on it as well. Might not even be the worst idea in the world to go ahead and maybe even share some of the brood with this one, since that one is so brood heavy. I mean, I don't know how many frames it was, but it had to have been 8 frames up top, 8 frames down bottom. I bet you there were 11 or 12 frames of brood. I mean, that's just insane. So as that hatches out, that hive is going to be humongous. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure when you come back, but I wouldn't be surprised if next week you wouldn't start to see signs of possibly a swarm. So depending on when you get back, if you want me to come back in a week and just peek for that, of course, I'm more than happy to do it. All right, from Renata's house, I'm Greg with Liberty Figs and Apiary in Burlington, North Carolina. All right, thanks so much. Take care. If you can't be good, behave.